Hi, and welcome to the Comic Strip, the show where I flap my arms about a lot wildly and nerd out about some of the comics I read this week. My name is Zaphod, and I try to keep this as spoiler-free as I can for you guys so you can enjoy this when you get a chance to read them. But I do like to talk about what I read, and this is the best avenue since nobody gets to talk back. I mean, you can, actually. Please do. If you have anything you want to say, please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But let's get started then, shall we? Okay, cool. So unfortunately, I had some bad news about this week. Our comic shop got shorted a few boxes of comics, so we didn't get everything that I was hoping for. We did get a few more things today, including Invincible, which I would have been heartbroken if that didn't show up. I would have been crushed. But there were a few things that still didn't arrive, so it might look like there are a couple gaps because there are, and we'll just push through and make the most out of what we can with the crappiness of the situation that we are given. Yes! Okay, so I didn't have Invincible until Wednesday, so that's going to be a little bit later in the stack, even though that would normally be first stop, so ignore that. We're going to start up with one of my favorites, Deadly Class here. As always, this series is fantastic. This issue in particular is really awesome. You're learning a little bit more about some of the characters you have. You're kind of getting to see that Marcus is a little bit of a dick. I mean, you know, he's not a great guy, but he's got his moments. This is a fantastic issue. If you're a person who likes to read your letters, definitely check out the last letter in this one. It's kind of touching and definitely well worth the read if you like those kind of feel-good / happy sad stories. Sad letters. Then we have up Batman and Robin number 36. I love this book, and it's amazing, and it's really sad because there's a lot of people I know who have fallen behind on it or have dropped it. And at this point, none of the other employees who work at the shop that I work at were reading this series, so I have nobody to talk to about it, which makes me so sad because it's amazing. This is part 4 of Robin Rises. This cover here, where you see all the Bat family all suited up as Robin, that makes me so happy there. It is similar to a picture that they had in the last issue, which just made my heart so ridiculously happy. Everything is happening so much. This Robin Rises storyline is killing me. If you want a tease as to what is to happen, I won't tell you. If you want, check out the future solicitations for the series Batman and Robin and see what they have to say. There's some interesting stuff on the horizon, I feel. I'm excited about. Then we have a new #1 from Image, from Ray Fox. And this is called Intersect. This one is, he is doing this entirely himself, you know, writing it, drawing it, coloring it. It's really cool. It's a very, very strange story. It's one of those stories that this is definitely part of a bigger whole, as all stories are. But this is a fragment that I really want to know more about. But I think that maybe reading it issue to issue might be a little bit tough holding on to some of that information because it is so strange, so odd, and a little bit hard to follow in places, and I think reading it in a month-to-month single issue format might be a little bit harder to track. I am definitely going to check this out when this comes out in collected edition. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I just want to give this series what it deserves when it comes to my attention, and I feel that me waiting to the trade is the best way to do that for myself personally. But definitely a cool series, definitely worth checking out in single issue paperback. I'm definitely gonna do it, just not just yet. I want to see it as a complete and whole creation, or at least, you know, the trade. I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. Anyway, ramble done. So with one series beginning, we have another one ending. This is issue 6 of Dream Merchant, which I've been waiting a very long time for. It's a great issue. There's a lot that has happened here. It isn't a tidy, perfect ending, but it isn't a tidy, perfect series, and I feel that the ending was very well suited to what the story had built up to be. I would love to go back and read this again when they put it out collected, so it's not having to read it over a 2-year period. I was talking with my boyfriend, and he was saying that he, what might have happened, because there is a different artist on the 5th and 6th issue, and there was a very long period of time in between that time. What does happen sometimes is that the artist can't meet a deadline, something happens in their life, what have you, and what very possibly could have happened is the writer could have waited, and when nothing happened, had to make other arrangements with a different artist. And sometimes that does put delays on books. That's what happened with things like 10 Grand, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this book's collected, and I'm very happy to see it. I'm very happy to see it in its finished form. And it's a great story, and when it gets collected, I highly recommend you read it. Dream Merchant, really cool sci-fi story where the things that we believe are nightmares are actually real and are trying to break into our world and take over. Really cool story, very interesting, very, very, very trippy sometimes. Definitely worth checking out when that gets collected. Then we have up one of the coolest series that's coming out right now in the superheroes. We've got the Multiversity line here from Grant Morrison. This one is Pax Americana, and even more excitedly than that, this is the one that has Frank Quitely. Each of these Multiversity issues are being done by a different artist from Grant Morrison. It's kind of his team, his people that he goes to. And this one's Frank Quitely, and I'm stoked on it. This issue is fantastic. Pax Americana, and it's funny, I started reading this last night, like right before I wanted to go to bed, and I was like, okay, I don't have the energy to give what it needs to this book right now. So then I read it at a 15-minute break at work, and I still didn't finish it. This is definitely, it's $4.99, but you get your money's worth with this. You get a hell of a story. You get some great characters. Blue Beetle, Question, only to name a few. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening in this issue. Some crazy stuff, too. If you're not reading this Multiversity thing, it's definitely check this out at some point. It's weird, it's crazy, it's very meta, it's awesome. It's good stuff. And then I got off work and got a chance to go to the store and pick up what didn't come. Invincible! Yay! Actually, let's just cross out Invincible and let's just call this issue Battle Beast, because it's all about Battle Beast, which I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to. Oh my god. Okay. Invincible, you guys know how I feel. One of my favorite books. Constantly delivering some of the best, craziest, punchiest, bloodiest superhero stories that you can get on the market. It is the best. This issue is amazing. It is a quick read. Awesome. And couple things about this. We have a new colorist on the book, Jean-Francois Beaulieu, I think. He is fantastic. He worked with Scotty Young on a lot of the Oz stuff, and he complements Ryan Ottley's work really, really well. It looks amazing. And secondly, they have an announcement in the back of the book about how in 2015 they're going to start to be a little bit more responsible and switch to kind of the saga style of shipping schedules where they put out a full arc month to month, then give it a few months, and then put out another full arc, which that'll be great for us who are reading it month to month. And no, it doesn't come out actually every month to month. It'll suck waiting in between, but we'd be waiting anyway, so it might as well get the full arc in between then. And it'll be great for those of you who are behind, giving you a chance to catch up on the trades in between those arcs. So I'm stoked about that. I'm happy seeing more of these creators adopt that style, especially when they have a harder time meeting those deadlines between all their other deadlines. So I think it's great. I would love to see more books adopt the style if they need to, and I'm really happy that Invincible's going on it, because it'll mean we get a whole arc in a timely fashion. Yay, my life is complete. Then we have Morning Glories number 42. Speaking of Grant Morrison not too long ago, there is a Grant Morrison reference in here, reading some comics. This is a great story. There's some really, really crazy developments that happen in this one. Shit is... Okay, there's always crazy stuff going on, but this issue there's some very interesting developments, and I really want to see where they happen, where they go to, and I saw that there's a girl on the last page here with blue hair, which may not mean too much, but when Joe Eisma had told people that they could submit images of themselves to become like an extra in the comic, and I submitted a picture back when I had green hair, and so they're still hoping that maybe green-haired me will show up in there sometime. Ah, I'm excited. Maybe. Even if not, this is still one of my favorite books, and I love this, and it's cool that there are people getting a chance to, like, read it and be like, oh, that's me, that's awesome, which is cool. Pardon me. Then we have, from Marvel, Moon Knight #9. This issue is, there's a lot, it's very different. I'll just show you the cover here. They're very minimalist, very cool covers for the series here. This is a very interesting issue, and there's going to be a pretty big change for Moon Knight given some stuff that's happening here, and I don't know what's going to happen next, but I guess we'll find out in a month, because, yeah, there are some changes, some things happen that will be interesting. I'm not going to tell you, sorry, there's some crazy stuff that happened in this issue. Anyway, so the last book that I have for tonight is, it's not sad because it's awesome, it's a great book. This is Lumberjanes issue 8. Yay! So if those of you are checking the solicitations, it says 8 of 8. That was how it was originally solicited, but it's now been bumped up into an ongoing story. This is the end of the first arc, and it's an amazing end to a great first arc of a comic that's just chock full of personality and charm. There is going to be a Lumberjanes story in the first ever Boombox mixtape anthology coming out next month. I love anthologies, but this one's going to be extra cool because you get Lumberjanes, and you also get, there's going to be a Cyanide and Happiness comic in there, which is great. If you guys love that, they've got that very, very twisted sense of humor. They've got their, like, really, it's great. If you haven't checked them out, look it up. It's been a webcomic that's been running forever. I'm sure you've seen it, even if you don't know it, because that stuff's all over the internet. It's great. And on top of that, they're also going to be doing the first ever Munchkin, you know, the card game from Steve Jackson. They're going to have a Munchkin comic, which is going to debut in the Boombox mixtape anthology, in addition to being the debut of a new comic called Help Us Great Warrior, which is going to start in February. So if you're liking what Boombox is doing and you want to see the debut of that new comic, or if you like any of these other comics, they're also doing the Midas Flesh, and I'm sure there'll be a few other things in there as well. Definitely check this one out. Make sure to add it to a list. There's a lot of retailers. Retailers don't typically order incredibly heavy on anthologies because people don't always order on them super heavily and don't pick them up a lot, but this is going to be a really good one. So if you're interested in it, please tell your retailers and get it on your list so they can order it for you, and you can enjoy it and it doesn't sell out, and then your retailer doesn't under order because they didn't know. As a retailer, we appreciate these things. Anyway, that's it for me this week. Sorry I didn't have more comics to review for you guys, but it just means I get to snuggle up in my Batman jammies and get some raspberry gelato. So I'm looking forward to that, and yes. That's it for me this week. Have a great week. Enjoy some good comics, and until next time, I'll see you.